What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wrestling Wednesday. I am your curator of all things in-ring, squared circle related, Doug Keeney, and I am joined by my lovely partner, Miss Ashley Leung. How you doing?
I'm pretty good, Doug. How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad at all. So I know I announced on the video a few days ago that we're doing a show together.
We are.
This is not that show. This is a little bit of a we're calling this kind of a little bit of a warm up. I'll give you guys a little bit of a taste of what we're doing. Oh, and we got a quick cameo, real quick. The one and only Mr. Cody Taylor's here, everybody. Cody's not feeling too well. Everyone send him good vibes.
Oh, feel better, Cody.
She says feel better. He says thank you. But yeah, so I didn't want to wait till Survivor Series to start putting up some wrestling content. And so you and I were talking, and I was like, why don't we just talk about the current product for a little while? Because
And
you and I talk about it a lot in our personal conversations. So why not put it up for the people to see? Maybe there'll be some people that agree with us.
maybe, or some people who are absolutely going to hate us for what we have to say.
I'll take either or. But anywho, so I guess we'll start with a little bit of an introduction. Ashley, where did you start with wrestling? As far as like, where did you kind of fall on? Where did it fall in your lap? Were you a kid from childhood watching it like me, or?
No, I was a fully grown adult. I watched it a little bit with like some friends when I was in middle school, but I never really fell onto it. I had some cousins who watched it, so sometimes at family events I'd see it, like because they'd be watching a pay-per-view or whatever. But just within the last like year and a half, maybe 2 years, I have really started to follow the product. And within the last like 9, 10 months, I've definitely started like following it more in depth versus just watching, the pay-per-views and the Raws and SmackDowns where I'm like listening to podcasts, watching videos, reading about it, just like absolutely immersing myself in the product. It's my absolute favorite thing to do now. But I am a full
So
full
you,
adult.
so you've officially graduated to the rank of Mark without going through the whole childhood experience like we did.
Well, I honestly am so jealous of the people who got to have this like their whole lives because I love it so much that I know that I would have loved it as a kid. But one of the things that I've been saying, especially after Evolution, is that I wish I had these female role models as a girl, like a little girl, because I think then my
Mhm.
parents would have been more okay with and more like accepting to me watching it because at the time that's for boys. And when I was younger, there was a lot more gender, norms. Now it's a lot more mixed, but I definitely didn't have that, as a child.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting thing to get into as we kind of get into the state of the current product. The wild jump that women's wrestling has taken from the era that I grew up watching, where it was like, I mean, I started in the late '90s Attitude Era, so all I had was, if I wanted a badass woman, I had to see Sable. I mean, not Sable. Sable was on the other end of the spectrum, but I had
Yes.
China.
Yeah.
And I had Luna Vachon for a little while, and Jacqueline was great too, but it was, and even in the era with Trish and Lita, you didn't have a shit ton of female great in-ring talents. You had Trish and Lita, but they had to work like hell to get that good.
Hmm.
And then you also had, they underrated people like Victoria, Molly Holly. You could
Yeah.
make the case for Ivory, I guess. I mean, I never really looked at Ivory as a huge innovator, but hey, she's in the Hall of Fame, so I guess, she does have that.
I think for my family, like for my parents, like they didn't really know the product, but all I see are these like bra and panty matches, and like nobody wants their young girls watching that. I mean, like that's what I want to do one day, even though that's not really what it was, or entirely what it was. That small piece definitely kind of kept me from watching it because I wasn't really supposed to. Um, but now I want to have a daughter so I can share with her, all these awesome things that women can do in wrestling now. And I mean, like I said, I am a new fan, but that's why I'm here with you because you are a encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to wrestling.
Well, I'm not as much of an encyclopedia as a lot of guys are, but what the stuff I know a lot about. So I definitely try to pass that on to people that maybe didn't check out some of the stuff because I feel like it's funny because like we just finished. It's November 5th when we're recording this. We just finished Monday Night Raw, and we had a match with Drew McIntyre and Kurt Angle, and it's very telling of your and my individual fandoms of how each of us swayed in that match because you were all about Drew and I was all about Kurt.
Yeah, I mean, and like nostalgia plays a huge factor in that because you have that nostalgia. Like you have that, you
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
Kurt.
Kurt was in his prime when I was watching. Yeah.
Yeah. And like so I don't have that. Like I can see where you're coming from with that, but I love Drew McIntyre. Like I think he's awesome. I think he's really fun to watch. I got to see him live this summer. It was great. And I like Kurt Angle. I've gone back and watched his stuff, but I don't have that same feeling of like watching it as it's going and growing up with it and just like that magical feeling of being a kid and watching him in his WrestleMania matches, as they're happening. It's definitely different when I'm watching things in retrospect. Right.
But anyway, so let's go ahead and get to the swing of things. We want to talk some current product. So I think the way that we'll probably go ahead and structure this is we'll just kind of throw a subject out and we'll just talk about it for a few minutes.
We were talking about this earlier today, like who's gonna take that championship from AJ Styles? It's definitely something I've been thinking about all day actually since we talked about it.
It's weird because there's no one that's been booked except maybe Brian.
Mhm.
I mean, they could go back to him and Brian now
Mhm.
and continue that. But do you want to see? That's the thing. I mean, and this is totally ripping other people's booking, but I mean, I don't want to see Brian get the belt until Mania, and I would rather it not be against AJ.
Yeah, I don't really want to see Brian take the belt from AJ. Um, I mentioned this earlier. I think that we could do like, I mean, I know AJ is probably not ready to retire just yet, but I would like to see that kind of be like his retirement match, him, like his career, or like for the belt, And I think I think that would be really interesting. And so I think it would have to be taken by a heel. Um, the Miz, obviously. I would maybe like to see somebody come up from NXT and take it from him. Um,
Yeah, but who? Like who in
well,
it? Well, you can make the case for someone like a Champa to come up and make his
yeah,
debut.
I think when Ciampa debuts on the main roster, we're going to see him on Raw. I don't
I
think we're going to
agree.
see him on SmackDown. Now he's not a heel. I would like to see a Ricochet versus AJ match before
Hmm.
AJ retires for sure. Because I mean, yeah, he's super flippy and all that, but just his entrance and the way he carries himself, I kind of get like shades of an AJ Styles from Ricochet. So I think that'd be a great match to watch. Um,
That's definitely fair.
I, Pete Dunne, I'd like to see him come up and he could take it from him. I
Pete
don't
Dunne
know
wouldn't
how
be too bad.
compelling that be, but I think that'd be a good one to come up. Really, on the NXT roster, probably I guess I can't really think of any other heels. You could not make it like a heel and have Gargano come up and take it from him. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be a hella match.
That would
Like in
be an
terms of
amazing match. And I mean, like no, like Gargano never holds the NXT title, comes right up to the main roster, takes the WWE championship from AJ.
I like that. I like the idea of the debuts and whatnot, but I don't know if I don't know. I mean, I almost would rather it be someone that we could build that's already on the roster
Yeah.
rather than
Um,
adding another body to the roster that will just get lost in limbo later.
Andrade, maybe?
Andrade would be
He's not
interesting.
he hasn't been built up enough, but all of his matches on SmackDown right now are solid.
Yeah, I mean he does great work. I just don't think there's the connection with him in the main roster yet in terms of with the WWE crowd. Because he
Yeah,
was, I mean, and you're gonna hear us say this a lot, guys. They were great in NXT,
yeah, and
and Andrade is one of those guys that was fire in NXT.
I could see
But
I think he's gaining more organic momentum versus being just like pushed straight to the moon.
Right.
I think like the audience is seeing his work rate and they're slowly starting to pick up on him. So I don't know who's gonna take it from AJ Styles. I do think that it should be. I think that could kind of be his retirement. Like I think he should
Yeah.
hold the belt till then, because I mean they're gonna have him hold it for a long time anyway. So let's just do it that way. That's how I would do it at least.
Yeah, that was one thing you and I were talking about is how we both kind of think that they are literally just extending AJ's run to spite CM Punk and have him break Punk's record.
And he totally deserves it, 100%.
Oh yeah,
Like AJ Styles is amazing. But yeah, I
AJ is
do
probably
think
my favorite in-ring talent today.
I think that if they weren't trying to eclipse CM Punk's reign, I think he probably would have lost it to Samoa Joe already.
Yeah, that should have happened. I mean, yeah, we could get into shoulda, coulda, woulda. I mean, because I think Joe would have been the natural guy to take it off AJ, and he was the
Yeah.
only one that really made sense to do it.
Yeah. Who else?
It wouldn't take much to get Miz there. You know, just put him in a number one contender match and have him win, and that's pretty much all
Yeah.
you need. Then you can do the program.
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone, like you voiced this to me earlier, that basically everyone has kind of already said they want that, and so they're probably not going to do that.
Yeah, I do feel like we get spiteful booking sometimes. Like, this is what you want. No, no for you. I kind of want to talk a little bit about Ronda versus Becky.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So basically, the end of the AJ, who's going to take the belt off AJ? There's no right guy right now. We need to do more building.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean,
But yeah, let's talk about something way more exciting than the WWE title picture right now, which is unfortunate.
Yes.
Becky versus Ronda. I am so psyched for this match, and I am loving this build.
Renee Young said it tonight on Raw. Like, I think this is gonna be match of the night at Survivor Series. I really do. I can't think of anything that's gonna be better. Like,
Yeah, because we've already seen AJ and Brock, so I mean,
yeah,
I'm fine with getting that match again, but it's not gonna be exciting like it was the first time.
no,
But Becky and Ronda,
yeah,
yeah,
right. Sorry. Yes.
I am very, very excited for this match. I love the turn that Becky Lynch has taken in her career. It is so fire, and I am so happy with it.
Her Twitter game. Have you seen this thing with her and Seth Rollins on Twitter?
Yes,
Oh
it is the
my
best.
God.
I've
Could you
never
imagine?
wanted I've never wanted an intergender match so bad.
That's exactly what
You
I was
know?
just thinking. Like, I want it so bad. That'd be amazing. I
Like
mean,
the first one I wanted was Ronda and Trips, but
that'd be pretty cool.
I like after seeing the stuff with Becky and Seth on Twitter, I so want Becky versus Seth now, and I want Seth to do the job.
Yes, to the
I mean,
man. Like,
yeah, she is the man,
he
dude,
is
and
the
it
man.
is it I you know what? I hate to say it, but fuck Seth Rollins, fuck Roman Reigns, fuck all these other guys that are claiming to be the one, like the top dog. Becky Lynch is the next Stone Cold. She is the top dog.
She is the big dog now. Like, I mean,
Like
she is.
how amazing would that be for Becky to be the first one in the women's ranks to reach that Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, John Cena level?
She is close. Like, close. People love her. People
I mean,
were
everybody.
okay. I watched Raw tonight, and that pop for Ronda was insane. People were like so excited to see Ronda. As soon as she started mentioning Becky, though, I mean, they didn't turn on her, but like they were hot for Becky, and Becky wasn't even there, and they were
Yeah.
like it was amazing. And honestly, like I gotta give Ronda her props. Like when she first debuted after the Rumble last year, not like in ring, but just like on TV. I was nervous. I was really nervous. Her timing wasn't great. She looked shifty eyed. I was very nervous, but she has come into her own on the mic, and it is awesome.
You could go back to her and Charlotte, and that could main event Mania. My God, that is that's the match. That's
Like
the match. It's funny. I've been pushing for that match to happen on SmackDown TV, but now I'm like, ooh, no, keep them apart till Mania. Build
rebuild.
Asuka.
I mean Ronda, Asuka, and I mean have Asuka hand her a loss. That would
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
that would shoot Asuka right back into the right status. And I mean, it would put a different development into Becky's character, which I think would just make us all like her more, honestly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely. Uh, okay, so here's the real question, because I guess we can go ahead and do a little bit of Survivor Series fantasy booking while we're here. Who goes over, Becky or Ronda?
I want it to
That
be Becky, but I think it's going to be Ronda.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. As after as much as everything we've said about Becky is true,
Mm-hmm.
Ronda is the one that they're really investing in. You know
She's
what I
the
mean?
money. She is the money.
I can't help but feel that Ronda is one of the biggest reasons this Fox deal happened.
I'm pretty sure, but I'm still waiting for them to somehow get Ronda onto SmackDown
That's
because
the thing, exactly.
all right, what if we got Becky, Ronda, and Mania? Somehow Ronda gets onto SmackDown. Becky hands her
I
her
don't.
first.
Oh, go ahead.
Totally, like this is totally from left field, and I'm sure I'll get torn apart for this idea. Becky hands Ronda her first loss at Survivor Series. Ronda just drops the title, says "F this," like I'm going to SmackDown to beat the crap out of Becky Lynch and take her title. I could see that happening, honestly. And then we've got Ronda on SmackDown.
I like it. Don't think it'll happen at this year's Mania though.
Nah, probably won't, but
I I think you will see Ronda on SmackDown, but I
yeah.
don't think you'll see Ronda on SmackDown until at least next fall. Because that's when the Fox deal kicks in.
That's
That's
what I
when
was
they're going to
thinking.
smack. So I bet you that's going to be one of the big selling points for the very first edition of SmackDown on Fox. Ronda Rousey making her SmackDown debut.
Yeah, probably. I mean, definitely Ronda is definitely one of the biggest draws right now. Becky Lynch said it on Sam Roberts' podcast. She's like a slot machine. The more you kick her, the more money that falls out.
Oh yeah, case in point, about 2 weeks ago they announced WWE live event in Columbus, just about an hour from where I live, and the bill was like, this is before Roman got sick, obviously, but it was going to be Roman and Braun, and Ronda was going to have a match. As soon as they announced Ronda,
Oh man.
already sold out. You can't
Yeah.
get a ticket to the show now. It's,
Yeah.
completely sold out.
I mean, Ronda appeals to not only like us as wrestling fans or you as an MMA fan, but like my mom knows who Ronda Rousey is, and my mom doesn't care about any of this at all. Like
Yeah,
so many
she's pop
people,
culture at this point.
yeah. I mean, I see memes on Facebook about Ronda Rousey, like when she had at SummerSlam with the Nightman makeup. Like I've seen, so many people had her on their Facebook page sharing that. I'm like, you don't even know like what happened last night, but they've got their eyes on that match. They've got their
Well,
eyes on Ronda.
Well, it's a lot like when, like, you see the meme of Kid Rock now from the
Yeah,
WWE
yeah.
Hall of Fame, and everyone's talking about how it's like, I've heard it's Dr. Phil dressed as Kid Rock. I've heard it's Jeff Foxworthy dressed as Kid Rock, which honestly sounds a bit more, which actually sounds a little closer to me.
I think so.
But
You've got
anyway, yeah. So, huh?
I was gonna say you also got the meme of John Cena with his long hair from Super Showdown. That's been going around a lot lately.
Yeah, I don't get why that's such a big deal. I mean, Cena had hair in the, back in the day, so I mean, it's not like it's a new thing.
Honestly, somebody on my Facebook page said it makes him look older and younger at the same time. It's really weird.
I completely get it. Yeah.
It's also like just so bad because he's balding, and I'm assuming I don't know. I'm assuming it was for a role, but he's balding. So like from the front, it's like all right, like it looks good, and then he turns around and there's just like this big bald spot on the back of his head.
Sword tattoo, elephant in the room. Let's talk about our dear old champ, the Beast, Brock Lesnar, who's
Oh.
once again Universal Champion. What you think about it?
Well, I can't say I was necessarily surprised, and I can't say I'm necessarily happy. I have nothing against Brock Lesnar. I just don't feel like he wants to be here or in the WWE really. I could be wrong. Maybe he does, but every time he's in the ring, it just feels kind of like he's phoning it in, and I just go home then. Don't be here, you know?
Yeah, and you never know. Maybe in his heart of hearts, he really does love it, and he's just playing that character.
Maybe.
But,
But
yeah,
then, like,
I
he
don't
doesn't
like
need to be
it.
our champion, you know?
Yeah, I don't like it because it just feels like we're right back to square one. We're right back to where we were before SummerSlam. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, hell, we're pretty much
But
right back to where we were at Mania. I
yeah,
mean, net with with no end in sight, and it's like,
pretty much. But
how the
like,
hell do we get out of this?
well, the night before Crown that show, we were on the phone and we were talking, and it just kind of hit us like a ton of bricks. What was probably gonna happen? Um,
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and let them know what you and I talked
nah,
about?
that was your idea, so you go for it.
Well, it just kind of hit us like a ton of bricks because, I mean, if you look at the order of events, you know, Roman's down. We
Mhm.
need a champion. We need a big name. No offense to Braun, but Braun's not exactly the big name yet.
No.
Bobby Lashley's on the rise.
Yes.
with Leo Rush, and he's been really getting a lot of steam, getting some pretty decent wins. And as soon as I made that point, it hit me. I'm like, oh my God, okay. So I think what's probably I'm not going to say probably going to happen, but in my opinion, what can see happening
Mhm.
is I see Bobby Lashley continue to build up momentum, continue to get big wins. Don't
Mhm.
have him lose unnecessarily.
Mhm.
Um, have Lashley win the Rumble, and then we get Lashley versus Lesnar at Mania, which is, I will say, the one Lesnar match that I actually want to see at this point. I want to see him and Lashley go at it,
Mhm.
but one, I don't think the belt needs to be involved, and I don't want to keep the belt on Brock between now and Mania.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot more to say about it. I know that we're kind of running out of time here, but real quick, who do you think should be Universal Champ?
That's the thing. There's no right guy. Seth. I mean, Seth
Who
would
do you
be
want?
like,
Who do you want? Not like who do you
who
think
do
is
I
going to
want?
be? Yeah.
Well, who do I want? Like, man, I mean, I'm a big Finn Balor fan. I would love to see Finn in that spot, but I just don't think he's there in the main roster yet. I think he will get there eventually, but I don't think he's quite there. I think he needs a solid mid-card title run before we get there. He needs some more solid programs. Why the hell aren't we doing Finn versus Elias? The
Yeah.
promos would be killer and the matches would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, because right now the dynamic's not really there. He goes back to being a heel. Um, right now, Finn is being Bobby Lashley's ragdoll, so that's always fun. I love Finn Balor. I love Finn Balor so much. We, it's no secret, he's one of my favorites. But I hardcore rooting Drew McIntyre in the Universal picture. That's just me.
He's not a bad pick. I mean, I definitely wouldn't rule him out. In my heart of hearts, who do I want to be? Like right now, who do I want to be the champ?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if he wasn't already the IC champ, Seth. I think
Yeah.
Seth Rollins. I think Seth is the guy that can carry that belt
Oh
and
yeah.
carry it for a while.
You could put that whole company on Seth's shoulders, I think, and I think he would carry it. I think he'd carry it all the ways. I love Seth Rollins. Right now, I want to see him in his program with Dean. I want to see him. I just want to see him keep being the man. I want to see Drew McIntyre take it, and maybe Seth take it from him. That's kind of what I want.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
No, me neither. But I wouldn't mind seeing Seth Rollins take it from Brock either. So
Well, that's the problem. Now that it's back on Brock, you have to put it on. You have to have someone go up against him that can be a physical threat to Brock.
yeah, you can't have, you can't put Leo Rush in there, though. Wouldn't that be something?
I might prefer it be on Brock.
I
Like
mean,
at that.
I'm talking about just the match in general. Watching Leo Rush fly around Brock like he's
Oh
Spider-Man
man,
and Brock's a building. Like, come on.
that'd be kind of cool. But another interesting piece of this that we have to think about is it's weird because you wouldn't think that anything UFC related would play into WWE storyline, but given the way things are going, and I just talked about this on the MMA Monday show with Cody.